Hi everyone, this is Mr. Dollar, also known as Peace Daddy. I've got another lesson for you today on fractions. This is fractions part 1, and this is the 4th lesson in part 1 called the equivalence of fractions. And today we're going to be using the circle insets so that we can sensorially associate the concept of equivalence with the fraction insets. So what does that mean? Sensorially just means we're going to be using our senses, mainly our sense of touch and our sense of sight, to think about this big concept of equivalence. And this lesson is also meant to prepare us for finding common denominators and for learning how to reduce or think about reduce later on down the road. I also want you to be using a new website called toytheater.com/fraction-circles. toytheater.com/fraction-circles. So I'm going to be doing the lesson with the Montessori materials, but you're at home and you're viewing this, so you probably do not have the Montessori materials with you. So this is a good resource, a good website to go to, and you can see all the things that I am seeing, but you'll be able to see them on that website. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here on the rug. Here are my fraction insets, and I want to first talk about this one, and I want you to look at this and see if you can think about what the name of that is. So it's two halves. You have two parts in this fraction inset, and there's two of them that are there. So the family name is halves, and the specific name is two, so two halves. Now I want you to focus your attention on the whole circle, and I want you to watch what I can do with this circle. I'm going to put the two halves here. I'm going to take the whole circle out. And the two halves fit in there. This is where the whole circle was. This is 3/3. Three-thirds fits too. And this is 4/4 right here. 4/4. Fourths fits. I wonder if fifths will fit. This is 5/5. Perfect. So I could keep going. I could go all the way up to 10/10. So do you see that 2 halves, 3/3, 4/4, 5/5 is equivalent to the whole circle, one whole circle. And that would also be true for 6/6, 7/7, 8/8. They would all fit in here. 9/9, 10/10, and you could keep going. So I want you to think about if you could write a rule for that. What would the rule be? When I have a fraction that has this thing, so you fill in the blank, it's also equal to 1 whole unit, a whole circle. So the answer to that is when the fraction has the same denominator and the same numerator, when the numerator and the denominator are the same, that fraction is equal to 1, right? So this is 1. It's a whole circle, it's a whole unit, but it's equal to 3/3 as well, right? And it's also equal to 5/5 back here. It's the same thing. This and this are equivalent. And equivalency comes from the Latin word equus, and equus means the same as. The same as. So in fraction work, equivalent means that they have the same value, but they have a different name. So now we're going to show the equivalence between different fraction parts. So if I went back to my thirds, let's talk about the thirds again. And I took out 1/3. What could you find, do you think, that would fit in there? If you were searching for something that would fill that empty space that 1/3 piece left, would 1/2 fit? No. So 1/2 won't go in there. So I could try, what comes next? Fourths. Does a fourth fit? No. There's a little space that's still left there, and it's too small for another fourth to fit in. See? It's just too small. It won't go in there. So let's try the next one. The next one would be fifths. No. Still a little too big. So the fifths are too big. I have some more down here. What about, let me try this fraction inset. These are sixths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, look. Okay, so the sixths, they fit. So 2/6 takes up the same space that's taken up by 1/3. So we can say that 1/3 is equivalent to 2/6. So if I tried to fill this space with sevenths, it wouldn't work. If I tried to fill it with eighths, it wouldn't work. But I have some ninths. I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, double checking that those are ninths. Oh, so 3 of my ninths takes up the space that 1/3 took up. So 1/3 is equivalent to 3/9 because it fills in the same space. So now what I would like for you to do is to go to the website that we were talking about called toytheater.com/fraction circles. Go to that website when you're done with this video, toytheater.com/fraction circles. And on that website, what you can do is they start out with a blank circle. The circle is totally blank. But you can do this same work, and I'm going to show you how. if you want to find a fraction that's equivalent to 1/3, you're going to have to put 2/3 into the blank circle, like that. And so what does that leave you with? It leaves you with a space that's 1/3. And then you can start picking up the fractions, and the fractions are labeled. So these are ninths. So down at the bottom of the website, they'll have a place down here where you can just grab ninths and pick them up and see if you can fit 3 of them in there. Okay? And your goal is to start with halves. I want you to start with halves on that website. Begin there. Put 1/2 into the space, and then I want you to go down to the bottom of the website and start filling in and see if different fraction pieces will fit and what kind of combinations can you make for 1/2 to fit in that space. And then I want you to go to thirds. And I want you to fill in 2 of the thirds, and that'll leave a 1/3 space right there. And I want you to start filling in with other fraction pieces. You can go down to the bottom of the page on the website, and they're labeled. It'll say 1/9, and you just grab it and you put it in there. Okay? And write that down in your copybook that 1/3 is equal to 3/9. And then guess what? When you're done with 1/3, you're going to keep going. You're going to go to the next one. The next one's going to be what? 1/4. So you're going to take, on the website, you have to put, when you get to the fourths, you choose the fourths from the bottom of the website. They're down at the bottom of the page, and you're going to grab 1, 2, 3 of the fourths and fill in the circle so that it looks like that. And then you'll have this 1/4 space that's left over. And I want you to start trying to put different pieces in there to see what's equal to 1/4. And keep a copy of that in your copybook. So in your copybook, you should have a page that says 1/2 equals, and then you list all the things that 1/2 is equal to. And then you write down 1/3 equals, and you write down all the things that 1/3 is equal to. You go down a couple of lines. What comes next? 1/4, and you write down, 1/5. Write down everything that a fifth is equal to, and I want you to go all the way up to 1/10. Okay? And then when you're done with that, you can come back to the thirds, and then you can find out, well, I figured out what 1/3 is equivalent to. I wonder what would fit into this space. I wonder what 2/3 is equivalent to. So on that website, toytheater.com/fraction-circles, you would put 1/3 in the circle. The blank part is equal to 2/3. So what's 2/3 equal to? Well, let's try with the ninths. Here's my ninths again right here. 1/9, 2/9, 3/9, 4/9, 5/9, 6/9. So 6/9 is equal to 2/3. And then I want you to continue making as many equivalencies as you can, but go in order. Start with halves, then go to thirds, then go to fourths, and I want you to go all the way up to tenths. And when you have all of that filled out on your paper, and you have all of those equivalencies mapped out, you're going to go to Google Classroom, and you're going to go to the Drive folder, and on Google Classroom, in the Drive folder, I'm going to have a place where you can check your work. So all of these equivalencies will be listed, and that's known as your control. So you're going to go to the control, and you're going to check your work against my work, and if you find 1 or 2 or more that you didn't find, then you should go back to the website and you can see if you can find them, if you can make that equivalency that you did not make the first time, but that you know that it's true because it's on the control. Okay? So once again, I want to say thank you for watching. This has been Mr. Dollar, also known as Peace Daddy. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.